David loved Berlin because it was a safe haven for him and he was feeling a lot of pain. But let's understand there were other economical and socioeconomical reasons. It's cheap to live here as opposed to living somewhere else. He was going through a lot of stuff, the divorce, the management, the record company. The record company was freaking him out. Look, nobody listens to the B side of a record. They don't. Everybody plays the A side and the record company promotes the A side. What do you care what I put on the B side? But the minute he put that ambient music on the B side, the record company went crazy. And so it really created a dilemma. So he had his situation happening. Everything was going wrong. He figures, I'm going to go to Berlin. He comes here with Iggy. He likes it. He has a great time. He doesn't have the pressure. He doesn't do anything. So we come here and we record 2 albums. Now, I got to address this because I'm talking about me right now. And nobody ever thinks about what I have to go through to do this. So let me give you a bit of information. 1977, I recorded 4 albums, and my wife recorded 4 albums. And oh, by the way, that was the birth of my daughter, Leah Lorien. All in 1977. We go out, we promote the tour. David Bowie becomes my next door neighbor in 1980. Did we talk about Berlin? Oh, yeah. We talked about Berlin. We talked about the great times we had. We talk about the city. We talk about the nightlife. We talk about the rain. We talk about beer. We talk about the things that, you talk about when you're just relaxed. It is the issue of him having this place that he doesn't have to feel protected. And in that safe spot, Berlin won his heart. Berlin helped him with his best friend, Iggy. Iggy helped his best friend David in Berlin as well. So there are some esoterics that you have to take into consideration why he feels for the place, and obviously the place did well by him, and we recorded amazing things. But did he ever come back? It's like fait accompli. Once you do it, and then, again, once all that was done, then he moved next door to me. I had the West Wing, he had the East Wing, and now he's living around where I am, and he can go downstairs with his 2 or 3 newspapers and have a cup of coffee just like he did when he was in Berlin. He feels safe. I'm his next door neighbor. Zoe, his son who later became Joey, who later became Duncan Jones, they all feel safe. The nanny feels safe. Coco feels safe. Everybody, we're one big happy family. And so the feeling that he got in Berlin, thank you very much, because it gave him a basis to understand what it was he actually needed. And then when he moved next door to me, it was a calmer David. It was a kind of like a Berlin David. He was at peace. And that, for me, is extremely important as one of his friends. But I know what he experienced when he was living there was equal to what he was living when he was here. And so we have to look at it as this perfect grace that he found in Berlin. And he was able to look at it as a standard that he might be able to judge his comfort level by. And that, to a person like David Bowie, is monumental when you consider what he had to go through in like 1976, 77, 78. And then finally towards the 80s, he's calm, he's got his kid, he's feeling good, And so these transitional periods are very, very, very important. But the fact that he was able to experience that release while he was suffering in Berlin, and then like all musicians should do, to be able to interpret that into his music so he could share that with the world, and in so doing, giving us a platform from whence we, continue to excel in what we were able to do back then. I mean, yeah, we were young, but we were no fools. We knew history was being made right here because it was done in a way that was not conventional. Just like he said, you can't use that mic, but that's the mic we want to use. I want to run it through a guitar amp. Okay, we run it. Nobody said no. And what you got was historical. So, as far as Berlin is concerned, home is where you feel safe.